Kevin and Grace Reynolds here with the AHCA community, and we are the co-founders. This community and this association was formed to raise respect and awareness for the incredible work of cleaners across the country and the world. And today we have a really special leader with us. We're having a special broadcast for her, and really representing all of you who are in the Florida area who are suffering from this. Please reach out to us. We want to support all the cleaners who are in Florida and have been affected by Hurricane Ian. So when we're starting this live, we really want to focus on, where we came from, what we're doing, and during difficult times like this, we can easily lose sight of how much we've accomplished, and especially losing, important things like clients and cars and having to turn to the community for food, things like that. It can become a really difficult, place to be and navigate through. But I know that Crisy is super strong, and I see her heart in all of this. And I know that she's speaking with you, Crisy, last week really meant a lot to hear more about your story. And you've overcome so many things throughout your life. And I know that you are going to really rock this one. Even if you don't feel like it every, second, you really will. We know that about you. So to start off, Crisy, please share with us how you started your business, how you got into the industry, what inspired you to become a professional house cleaner?
So a couple things. One, I was having problems. I didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. I used to bartend and waitress, and I loved it. I did it for almost 17 years. And I just got to the point where it wasn't for me anymore. The universe has a way of when you trying to make you do something, and then you keep going like, no, not today. And then it kind of like forces you into a situation where that's your only choice. And so I ended up losing my last job where I worked in the restaurant industry. I refused to go back into the restaurant industry, and I couldn't find work really doing anything because the only thing I had done for the last almost 17 years was work in the restaurants. And it was very profitable, and it was a really good job. But the problem I was having was trying to find a job outside of that was making the exact same amount of money or to support my family, because anything less than that wasn't going to work because we have a lot of kids. So I made a post because at one point we got so bad we had went through all of our savings while I was trying to find a job and everything, and we were really not in a good place. And so I made a post on the Nextdoor app. I was too prideful to do it on Facebook. I didn't want anybody to know how bad things were for us. So where I said, hey, I am looking for work. I have to feed my family and pay my bills. I've done this for a lot, I'm really good at sales. I'm really good at, cleaning. I'm really, really good at organizing. I can do anything. Like, I'm also capable if you just need someone, if I'm like pull weeds, cut your yard, whatever. And a woman messaged me and said, hey, I just had surgery and was forced into early retirement. And I really need someone to come help me take care of my house, because while I'm in recovery, I'm looking around my house and realizing it's disgusting. I'll pay you to come clean my house. And I was like, okay, sure. I didn't expect that much money. I didn't expect anything. I was hoping to maybe like get enough money to buy dinner for that night. And so I cleaned her house. And it was a pretty bad house. Like, she smoked in her house with all the windows shut for 15 years.
My goodness.
So she had me cleaning like one room and a bathroom a day. And it was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. So the first day I did the master bedroom, in the master bathroom, and I started the living room. And then she said to me, she goes, "How much do you want me to pay you?" And I said, whatever you think is fair. Like, I really didn't know how to, I didn't know anything. I literally knew nothing. She said, "Well, I paid my last cleaning lady $25 an hour, and she didn't clean near as good as you did. So how about we just start there?" And that's where I got my first idea of like, okay, well, I guess that's what people charge for cleaning. And by the time I had finished her house, I had made close to $1,000.
Wow.
And it took me multiple visits to do it. And I said to my husband, I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can do this. And he had always told me that if I were to start my own business, that's what I should do, because that's my biggest strength. Like, I'm really naturally inclined, good at it. And I was always scared to, because my ex-husband, when I brought up to him, he said, "No, you'll fail." So having that experience, I was very nervous and I was very scared. So I didn't jump in head first, like, at all. I made a couple posts in Facebook groups like, "Hey moms, if you're looking," it was October. So I was like, "Hey moms, if you're looking for extra help around the holidays to get ready for family, blah, 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 like, I'll come clean for you."
Right.
And I really had no idea what I was doing price-wise, like none. So I started Googling stuff and I found Handy, and then I broke it down, and like, so if you clean for Handy pays you $15 an hour. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, like, that's not great, but it's something. So my original prices were $15, $18, and $20 an hour. So $15 for weekly, $18 for biweekly, and $20 for deep cleans, or like, and then I realized, like, that's not enough. And a friend of mine who I used to work in the restaurants with, she started her own cleaning company, and she was a member of the AHCA. And she's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the AHCA? Like, you should look into it, because that piece of paper, like, telling people I have that certification, it means a lot to them. Like, it helps." And so at first I didn't join as a member. I just joined the Facebook group, like the one that's public and everybody can join. And so I was a member of that group for about a year, I think. And I was really reading, and I would read, and I wouldn't really interact with posts. But I would read and 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 like learn a lot of things. It's mind-boggling the amount of stuff I learned from there. And at that point, my interactions would be like, people would be like, "Don't use Dawn dish soap for this," and I'd be like, "Why?" And just like learn. And then I went on maternity leave in February of 2021, and that's when I joined the AHCA as a member, because it's like, okay, let's do all this stuff while I'm home with a baby and can't really do anything else. And that's really when I started getting involved with the Facebook community, and we were doing the meetings twice a week and stuff like that, and it was really, really helpful, and I learned a lot of things through there, and it really helped my business. So I went from making like $72 on most of my houses are biweekly. So I went from making $72 a house and like, how the heck am I gonna survive, to those same houses, that size now, those models are now 165 to 185, depending on how often and how bad and what all I'm actually doing. And I made it a survivable business. Like, I'm licensed, insured, bonded, certified, all of those things. And I know what I'm talking about, and it really helped professionalize it for us a lot. And then I made a lot of great friendships throughout it. Also, one of the biggest things, I think, once I got to that point, raising my prices and getting new clients and having that confidence that came from everyone in the HCAs, the like very group, like supportive, almost like group therapy for all of us cleaning owners. Then my next point was, okay, well, what do I do from here? Like, how do I go to the next thing? And then we had the conversations a lot where we're talking about joining like the Chamber of Commerce and all of those things. And so that brings us to like right before the summer this year. So I think like May is when I joined my local Chamber of Commerce of this year. At that point, I'd been in business for 3 years legally as a formal actual like business. And it's been great. And I've learned a lot. Like I learned how to bill my clients, the points of actually invoicing them and versus, you know, just like leave the money on a counter. And it's been really, really great. And right before the hurricane came, through my Chamber of Commerce membership, I was very, very blessed. Our local YMCA, they have currently one of the like big companies that subcontracts out to whomever to clean for them, and they're very unhappy with them. All of the YMCAs in the surrounding cities are very unhappy with that. And the company that they're cleaning, working for, they care about quantity, not quality. So they're subcontracting to people, and those crews that they're subcontracting to are only making money if they get to all of these businesses in a set amount of time.
Right.
And they got to cram as much business in one period of time as possible. Otherwise, it's not enough to survive. So I was at our after hours event that our chamber does last month, and the director for our local area was there, and she came up to me because somebody else in the chamber recommended, hey, go talk to her. She's really good. And I did a walkthrough literally the week before the hurricane hit. So we'll know by the end of this month if we got the contract. If we do, then I would start the first week of November. So hopefully, that's my biggest prayer right now is like, just get through this month. Get through this month, pray, and get that contract.
Yes.
So, but a lot of those buildings also took a big hit from the hurricane. They're old. This area of Florida, everything is either old or new. Like nothing is really in the middle. So the YMCA is one of those things that, like, you know, establishes in a community when the community first establishes. So since our community is old, those buildings are old. So that kind of brings
You
us
also,
to, like,
Crisy, I hate to interrupt you. I just wanted to point out you won an award, and you had just celebrated. They had you on the big screen at the Chamber of Commerce and everything, right?
So the Chamber of Commerce, they had a diamond gala, and in that diamond gala, only certain companies were able to be recognized and have an advantage to be recognized on the screen. Out of the cleaning companies, I was the one who was able to be recognized, which is very rewarding, being as I only joined in May 1, and also there are other cleaning companies who've been a member much longer than me. But a lot of the business I've gotten from them are people who weren't happy with those other companies. So that's been great. And then also, like, I want to go out to one of those companies, one of the residential companies, and it's been like a moral struggle, I think. I want to be like, hey, like, come join the AHCA and learn things and get amazing and get better. And then I'm like, no, I don't want to make my competition. Like, right now, you're not. Like, right now, like, people don't like you and they call me, and I don't want them calling you. So, you know. But it's, and then to have, like, the AHCA has been a really great resource, not just in any of, like, my personal business growth. Like, there are a lot of people who call me that I can't fit on my schedule or outside my service zone. Finish Line Cleaning used to work right here in Northport with me. She was very lucky. She got blessed. She met the man of her dreams. She got married and she moved. It was an hour and a half drive, 2 hour drive, depending on traffic, for her to get down here and continue with her clients. So we swapped clients because I had the baby and didn't want to drive that much north anymore because daycare rules, you know, they want them picked up on time. And so we swapped a lot of clients, and like, I've had a lot of people call me, and I, after the storm, who need help, like getting houses back to normal and cleaned up after whatever damage was done. Or, you know, some people just need a lot of help cleaning right now because they didn't have electricity for 10 days, 12 days, you know. And since I can't do it, I'm sending all of the business to the north to her. All of the business right around our area is to the girl who brought me in to the AHCA. She owns Essential Home Quality. And so anyone locally, I sent to her. And then anyone further south in like the Fort Myers, Naples area, I point them to the pinpointcln.com and tell them to go there.
Cool.
So, it's been a thing. But this is probably one of the hardest things I've done as a person, as a business owner, as a mom. But it's also been like really like awesome. I don't know if that's the right word, but more people in the AHCA have called to check on me or sent me a message than people in my family. So being a part of something that's like that is, I think, what sets the AHCA apart from people who tried to compete with them. My family had an extra layer of security because Stefana from Two Babes and a Crew was down here working rescue and you know, search and rescue and getting supplies. She has been my family's guardian angel. Like, I never knew it was possible to love someone that you've never met in person until her during this hurricane. She's amazing.
That's awesome. Crisy, it looks like we've lost signal possibly. I know Crisy is outside of Hobby Lobby right now to get signal since it's still down where she is at her house. So hopefully she'll be able to come back on. But that was beautiful testimony to the AHCA. And I know we had some questions for her, but she was, you know, answering those and sharing more. And it's just such an inspiration to see so many people who have been impacted just in the relationships that are built within our community and in the leadership program. And we're just so happy to have each one of you with us. And, you know, keeping the poison out has been something that Kevin and I have really put a lot of effort in throughout the years. And it's beautiful to see this blossom. And thank you so much, Crisy, for your testimony on that. And we're going to get into how Ian impacted your life. So I don't know if you're going to be able to get back on. I think that's what, you know, we wanted to dive into, because there's a lot of people out there that I know will want to support you through that. So if you are a podcast or YouTube watcher, come into our community and leave your comments and send your prayers and donate if you can for Crisy and her family. I know that they have, you know, she's out of work basically right now because everybody's homes are very damaged in her area. And then also her van was having a lot of issues. So it got flooded out. So, you know, I'm sure we'll hear an update on that, but it's difficult to get to cleaning jobs without a vehicle. And then bringing kids to daycare and everything. But, you know, just being able to be there for her during this time especially if you are a cleaning professional as well, just being able to be there for people within our industry and within the AHCA is a great opportunity. And so we really invite all of you to do that.
I really loved listening to how quickly Crisy has grown Mommy Maids 24/7 down in South Florida. We remember when Crisy first came into the American House Cleaners Association's Facebook group, when she had her baby and joined the AHCA, got her professional cleaning provider online certification course. And then so quickly she started leveling up her business. And right before Hurricane Ian arrived, she was, going on those biggest estimates that she's ever been on in her career, getting ready to grow her team. And it's just been an amazing opportunity for us and all of us members on the AHCA leadership team to be able to watch her growth. And then all of a sudden, boom, Ian comes around and makes your work van go away, your son's van go away. I guess they lost their washing machine as well because there was power surges or some type of electrical things going on. So can't wash your clothes, can't wash your work rags, can't serve any of your clients because their homes have all been destroyed or significantly impacted. And then what do you do now? And understand how, you're on that positive momentum and then an outside force comes in and all of a sudden, there's a major challenge and setback, tough spot. And then how do you navigate that? And that's why we're here today with all of y'all, asking you to offer your words of encouragement in the comments for Crisy Bosser and her family. Of course, your prayers. And then if we can all contribute, even if it's just a few bucks to the GoFundMe account, we would love to be able to help Crisy get back into a vehicle as soon as possible so that she can get back out there and continue her business and continue earning money to support her family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think a big part of navigating through things like this is having a good circle of people who care about you and love you and nurture your confidence and remind you of your strength and come up with ideas and donate. And that's part of navigating, is having that circle around you to help you through. And I know that Crisy is going to come out of this even stronger than she was before. I really enjoyed our conversation earlier today and last week, just hearing the things that she's been through and the things she's overcome already in her life. And hearing her be strengthened through this time and feel that that sense of all those negative feelings being turned into strength, and even laughing through the difficulties and recognizing that this is actually going to be an opportunity. And I'm so proud of her.
Looks like Crisy is back online. Let's bring her back on. Welcome back.
Thanks. Sorry, our signals suck right now. All of our stuff sucks.
We understand.
Well, we continued to share a little bit about your story while you were away, but we left off right how things were going really well for you and your business growth and growing as a leader and everything. And then Hurricane Ian showed up, and then bam, everything seems to have changed. Can you share with us your story of how it was to go through Ian and how has that impacted y'all's lives and y'all's business?
Okay. So, my husband and I were probably at one of the best places, mindset wise, we've been at before the hurricane. Overall, obviously, right before the hurricane, nuts because hurricane. We did prepare for the hurricane, not like to the extent that some people did, but like we put up our shutters and made sure we had enough water and food for a couple of days. My grandmother lives with me, so we made arrangements for her if we lost power because she's on oxygen and she needs, electricity runs her machine that creates the oxygen, her oxygen concentrator. So we did all of those things, had arrangements set up with Stefana. Then the hurricane came Wednesday. Not this past Wednesday, but Wednesday before. So like a week ago today, because I think today's Wednesday. My days are all one day. And around 2:00 Wednesday, we lost our electricity, and essentially we lost all connection to the outside world. We didn't overly or heavily prepare because our area is set up into flood zones A through E. A is like you're gonna flood, like a good thunderstorm and you're flooding. And E is like you're not gonna flood at all. There is no risk. It's not gonna happen. Don't waste your money on flood insurance. It's not a thing. My house located in E. We were not supposed to have any kind of flooding at all. Around 7:30, and I'm guessing because I'm pretty sure my phone was dead at this point. But I think it was around 7:30ish. Like it was kind of getting dark, but it could have been earlier because we had the hurricane, in the clouds. So I'm not sure. My grandmother's cell phone got a warning for flash flooding, and I completely dismissed it because I'm like, we're not even in a flood zone. Like, we don't have to worry about that. About 30-ish or so minutes after that, my husband goes outside to smoke a cigarette. Because, like, his nerves are through the roof. We have 4 kids in the house and no electricity and, the teenagers and the baby were making us nuts. The one kid that doesn't fall into that category, he was an angel. But so he went outside to go take a break, and he's like, Christal, our road looks like a rushing river. Like, you could go whitewater rafting. And like, no, why? No. And I had to go outside to look for myself. Because I didn't believe him. I was like, no, we're not in a flood zone. And the water was up to the back of my minivan. We didn't prepare for that. We didn't park where the way our yards are developed, and you're built up on like a hill. There's these huge deep swells in the front of your yard. And the newer the house is, the deeper that swell is. Our neighborhood is pretty new in this area, so we have really large swells, like drainage ditch type things. So if I had known we had a risk of flooding, I would have put my minivan like right in front of my front door, at the top of that hill. But it wasn't supposed to be a thing. Like, they only mandatory evacuated Zone A. Zone B was strongly recommended, and Zone C was precautionary. So I'm in Zone E, like, I had nothing, according to everything we were told. Flooding wasn't a thing I would have to worry about. My biggest concern, and really no matter where we put any of our vehicles, be like falling trees. So we, like, I started panicking at that point. Like I said, at that point, it was up to the back of the minivan. For a very long time. And my husband and I are scared like
Looks
worse
like
than
we
we've
might be
ever
having
been. You could hear, like, we have shutters. We opened the front door. We couldn't see anything, but you would hear, like, sounded like a train was. Doors are bolted, like bolted to the house. You know, like into the concrete, like they're shaking. If you looked at the front door, you could see like pulse doors. You could see those like it wasn't keeping them closed. It wasn't keeping them locked. Like water was coming door. You could hear the garage door. We had the special lock they put on them for high winds and hurricanes to secure them. So you could hear that banging.
Right. Wow. Sounds like the wind was really strong. It looks like we're losing connection again. Hopefully it'll come up.
Hopefully the Wi-Fi will pick back up, or Crisy will join us again as soon as she can. I think
Oh, there.
signal just went back up.
We were losing you for a second.
Is it better now?
Yes. Oh, no.
Yeah, we're back down to one Wi-Fi bar on Crisy's connection. So Crisy doesn't have Wi-Fi available at home right now. The power's out and they're having difficulties with all of the utilities there. So she's driving about and using Wi-Fi connections at Hobby Lobbies and such. Looks like her signal is coming back up again here.
I want to hear the rest of the story. It sounds like it got really much worse than they thought it would. Because I remember in Messenger when everybody was asking, you know, about the people in Florida and where everybody was. Oh, nope, it's gone back down.
Yeah, I remember asking Crisy if she was going to evacuate because we knew she was
kind of in the direct
in that area.
Yeah,
and I think maybe it took a turn or something, and
a little bit. Yeah,
and I remember her saying in the group that in the private leaders chat, I think
they're not in the flood zone.
Right.
Yeah.
So the unexpected happened, and sometimes that happens. You know, in our lives, in our business lives, we're not all victims of Hurricane Ian or actual hurricanes, but we do have storms, right? That's what we call them, that come in from time to time, sometimes.
Right.
And, you know, it's in times like this, and when we're in our storms, that we rely on the support of our loved ones, our spouses, and our friends and our family members in our lives. And so we're asking members of the AHCA community to comment with your encouraging words here for Crisy. I'm sure she's going to read every single comment sometime later on this evening. And we know that it will mean a lot to her, as well as offering your prayers. The AHCA has started a GoFundMe to support Christal Bosser and her husband and their children, and also to help Crisy get back on her feet in her business also. So, and it looks like we got Crisy back on the line here. Crisy, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Our Wi-Fi and internet and cell phone signals, all of those things they're not reliable. They're not reliable.
Well, we were just saying while we were waiting for you to just kind of recapping and saying that it sounds like or y'all's area wasn't expected to flood like it did, but that's what happened, and no one was really prepared for that because it wasn't expected. And so tell us about how, so after the storm, how has that impacted your business? I know, you know, you had mentioned that you lost your van and also your son's car and your washing machine. And did you lose all of your current clientele?
For now,
I lost all but 3. So like I was saying earlier, my area they expected a lot of devastation and damage, but what they didn't expect is for not flood zone areas to flood. So, and these are like record floods. You know, the FEMA updates the flood zone maps every so often, and just before Hurricane Irma, I think like 6 years ago, they had updated them. So they're not even old maps. Like, they're really not by normal standards. This, from what I understand, wasn't a normal storm. We lost the van, my son's car, and then we were left with just my husband's car. And most of my clients, they're a lot of them, I don't target, like, my target market for clientele isn't the extremely affluent or anything. It's the everyday people, right? So a lot of them live in houses and their neighbors, they're, you know, like they're everyday people like you and me. They're not people who have like massive insurance policies or, you know, a lot of people in this area, their deductibles are really high on their insurance policies. So a lot of them are having to pay for the damages out of pocket because it's still cheaper and better than filing an insurance claim. Or a lot of them chose not to have insurance because they were told they were not in a flood zone. Like, it was okay to not have insurance. And so there's a lot of catastrophic stuff, especially with our older generation, like around our neighbors. We have a lot of mobile home parks that are 55 and up, and they're very nice. They're very beautiful. They're not like trashy trailers. Like, they're really beautiful communities. And they don't exist anymore. So we have FEMA and all of those, you know, the Red Cross, all of those agencies here. But a lot of people lost a lot of things. Like, there's houses here. I was driving down 75 after which is our main interstate. I dropped my husband off at work the other day, and I was driving home, and I literally just like casually glanced to the side of the highway, like, you know, everybody does. And I realized there's a house, and that was a roof, and that's the water touching the roof. Wow. And we were 5 days post-hurricane, and that house was still completely submerged.
Wow.
They're already putting plans back in place right now, because we're going to get storms over the next few days into the weekend. Like, our regularly scheduled afternoon thunderstorms have decided to return. Usually during this time of year, every day by like 4 o'clock, you have a massive thunderstorm. We haven't had any since the hurricane, but they're coming back with a vengeance, apparently. So, like, they're already putting rescue teams and stuff into place, because if it rains a lot, they'll have to go back out and rescue people from their homes. Right. It's been really hard, because in an instant I went from being pretty okay and like getting ready to climb this huge mountain, and my terrifying thing was like, how am I going to tackle this job? Like, if I get this branch of the YMCA, I know all the other branches need people, you know, they all hate this cleaning company. Like, she told me, like, I could go and get all of them. And like, my new thing was like, all right, Christal, you're going to have to get over that fear, and you're going to have to hire people again. And you're like my fear is like getting over those anxieties and like thinking I was taking my company to the next level. I have 3 clients left, like I said, and just trying to get through them the past week or so. Like, I went and helped a client on Thursday of last week, and Friday, and then I helped a client. Yes, but it's been a lot for us financially. Like, at this point, kind of helping the clients and like going and cleaning for the clients that I do have, it's a double-edged sword for us. Since we're down to 1 vehicle and my husband's job is about 30 miles away, We're going through a tank of gas a day that I have to take him to work.
Wow.
And then come and do my job and then go back and pick him up. And so it's almost to the point, like, when you put a lot into, like, realistic, like, what we have to do, right? Like, we go to work to pay for our bills and to survive. Anyone with kids, I think, especially if your kids have to go into care where you have to pay for it, to be like, is it worth putting them in daycare? Am I actually making any money between gas and, you know, like, expenses that it costs to go to work? Is it worth it? And financially for us at this point, it's not. And it's so hard because I went from, like I said, from like that high, you know, like a really high thinking I was going and I was leveling up and I was going to the next phase, to where every day I don't know if Mommy Maids exists tomorrow. I don't know. Like, I keep saying, other people experience life-altering, catastrophic things that are way worse than what we do. But for me, this is catastrophic personally. Like, other than my kids, my company was one of my proudest accomplishments. And through no fault of my own, it could be gone.
And during these times, Crisy, I know this is really, it feels devastating right now, but I can guarantee you that this is temporary. Things will be built back, and you will build your cleaning service back. And I know we talked about it last week, and it's like, this is what you've built. It's not going away. And you haven't just built clientele or a team. You've built this up in your heart and your mind, and nobody can take that away from you. Like, you understand this industry better than 99% of the country because of the courses and because of delving into the AHCA and collaborating with other cleaning companies and learning and just growing. Like, you have a gift now that nobody can take from you, not even a storm. And so I know that you can build back. You've gone through hard things before, and you are a strong person. You've always made it through. This is just a temporary time, short period of time, and it sucks right now. It just sucks.
It really does. It really does. It's just really, it's crazy because I've been through things, and, like, I know that I've been through a lot of things that seem like they should be harder to digest and overcome this. But, you know, here in Northport, in Florida, right? Like, I didn't have people who knew who I was before. Like, now I walk in at the chamber and everyone knows who I am. And, you know, I went for a couple estimates. Like, people called my company, like, after the Diamond Gala event, and I went for a couple estimates, and people are like, oh my God, I've seen your TikToks. I didn't realize Mommy Maids was your company. And, you know, like, silly things. Like, it sounds so, oh my, like, superficial, like, when you say it out loud. But for somebody to tell me, like, oh my God, I saw your TikToks, like, I didn't know using bathroom cleaner in my bathroom was going to ruin my bathroom. Or, like, toilet bowl cleaner, I mean. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
toilet bowl cleaner. Like, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's an acid. And they're like, oh my God, it's an acid? I'm like, read the label.
Awesome.
You know, just silly things like that. Or, going to Home Depot, like yesterday I was in Home Depot and the Home Depot guy said to me, hey, you know, can I help you? What are you looking for? And I swear to you, like, he was profiling me. Like, I was a woman in Home Depot. I don't know what I'm there for. Like, it was 100%, like, that's the vibe that he gave off. And I was like, to have the confidence and turn around and look at him like, oh, no, I'm here. Like, this is my favorite store. I know I'm good, but thank you. And he goes, oh, well, how come you're here? And, you know, like, basically the conversation ends up that I own my own cleaning company. And then, like, he goes, oh, well, what do you use for this? And then to tell him, like, okay, I use this and this is why it works. And, like, to tell him why it works, like, he said to me, he goes, I'm going to go home and blow my wife's mind tonight because she just keeps bleaching the shower, trying to get rid of the hard water. And he's like, and, like, legitimately watched him grab the bottle of Barkeeper's Friend and walk to the self checkout and buy it and then stick it in his pocket. Like, like I was like, okay, well, that might explode there, but like, you know, like, there's those moments through this silly things like that, or when I've had to go through like the FEMA places and stuff for food, or, you know, to fill out the stuff that they need to fill out to get things taken care of for us. I have, like, given out all of my business cards, and I keep telling everybody, I'm like, I know right now you probably can't, but when you get internet back or your cell phone, if you scan the QR code on the back, you can message me directly. Like, you know, but there's been so many moments where I'm grateful, but there's also been so many moments, like the day I made the post on Facebook. I think that was like the first time I've ever made a personal post about, like, feeling depressed or something, you know, because typically for me, Facebook is just entertainment. Like, it's funny memes and funny videos, and that's it. I was sitting in my kitchen with no electricity and had no idea what to feed my 1-year-old son, because nothing that we had was baby friendly. And nowhere had electricity. And I didn't have the vehicle because I told my husband at that point, like, I'm not working, just take the car. Like, and I remembered what it was like at moments in my past. And I had a complete breakdown because I didn't have a great life. And I swore to God, I would never let my kids have any of those bad feelings. But my son was sitting there crying because he was hungry. And there was nothing I could do. Because, you know, he didn't want to eat tuna fish. Like, and it wasn't like a normal, like, toddler, like, not wanting to eat tuna fish sandwiches, right? Like, first of all, most people, I don't think, feed their 1-year-old tuna fish because it's messy. But, you know, not to be like, okay, well, I'll give you this, or like something you do like I couldn't run to the store. I couldn't eat. Even if I did run to the stores, I couldn't buy anything at the store because we only had debit cards and the stores didn't have internet, so we couldn't pay with debit cards. It was just all of that stuff. Like, it all hit me that day that I made that post, and I was literally asked my older kids, please, like, take your younger brothers outside, play with them in the yard. Sat in my kitchen, crying my eyes out on the floor with my back against the oven, and it was really nice because no sooner than I freaking hit post on that I had like 4 or 5 people message me. And what blew my mind, not one of them, all of them were from the AHCA. Like, wow. They weren't my personal friends, they weren't my family, they were all AHCA members.
Wow.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? Like, it was Fabiola and Lucia and Stefana and Jeannie. Like, it was really awesome. Like, it was one of my darkest moments. And, you know, it's the thing I say, like, in your darkest moments, you grow the most, right?
Right.
And I could tell you that my pride has shrank, but my heart has grown so much. Like, it really has. And it's so hard. Like, I sit here, like, we're filling our gas tank every day so I can try to find work or get work and try to figure it out. And I'm trying so hard to be positive. But part of me is just like, restaurants need employees. Like, go back, you know, like, it's so hard to not just walk away. I don't walk away because I don't want to, but it's so hard. And I don't know if my pride won't let me walk away. I don't know what it is. But I put so much into my company, and to know that, like, it could be over is really hard.
Well, I don't think that Mommy Maids could be over. I think that the only way Mommy Maids could be over is if you give up. And you're not a quitter, and we all know that about you, Crisy. And so, you know, when you're feeling that negative momentum come in and say, hey, you know, it would be easier to do this, just remember the success that you were having right before the storm. And remember, after the storm comes the sunshine, and the sunshine is just right around the corner. And Grace and I, and all of us leaders in the AHCA are completely, we believe 100% that Mommy Maids is going to come back, and it's going to be stronger than ever before. And because you're able to go through this storm and this challenge in your life, you're continuing to grow as a leader. And so you're going to be a better leader, and Mommy Maids is going to be stronger than ever before.
It's temporary, and it's like, you've already made such an impact on your community, even in your chamber of commerce. Like you're saying, like, you won that award, you know how to speak about cleaning now, that in a way that people have never heard before, and they need to hear it. And you are using those tools and speaking about what you do and our industry in such a way that is changing people's lives. Like, they're not going to forget about you, and your company cannot fail. You can take a break, you know, and maybe for a while you could take a break, so that, you know, until like your clients build back up and whatnot. You could also use this time to work on systems and advertising campaigns and things like that, like putting thought into how you want to build for the future when you do come back, so you can launch like super strong when you come back. So those are some ideas. But you can't fail, Crisy. You've already won. People know about you. You're establishing yourself. You're not going to just go away. It's you are your business. Right?
I just want to read a comment to Crisy. I don't know if you can see it on your phone, but a comment came in out of the AHCA Facebook group. I can't see your name, but it says, yes, this is just temporary, Crisy. You've motivated so many of us when we secretly needed it, and now our turn to give some of it back to you. You may take a break for now and use it to come back stronger. Absolutely.
You know, sometimes how you know yourself, like, you know that if you do something, like, that's it. I know why I don't want to take a break is that I know that if I take a break, that it will become a thing of the past. So that's, I think, one of the biggest things that has me staying and not taking any of the other things I can do. Like if I feel like if I just go, okay, I'll go part-time and work in a restaurant, or I'll get a part-time job at like the grocery store or something, that it becomes to, well, I can't afford part-time, I need to do full-time. Like, and then, then Mommy Maids becomes a thing of the past. So I'm trying really, really hard to hold on as long as I can. And comments like that, like, that's really been what helped. It seems weird because it's like, I don't know any of those people personally in person. You know what I mean? But I feel like I know every single one of them because I've talked to them, I've chatted with them, I've messaged with them. Like, we've had the the Zoom calls, and it's so nice, honestly. I know, like, it really, those are the motivating comments. Like, my best friend said to me, she's like, Crystal, there's nothing that you've never not done that you wanted to do. And I'm like, you're full of crap. I'm done with you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like to me, it was like, you have to say that you're my best friend. Right? Like, my husband says, babe, you're going to survive this. Like, you survive everything. And I'm like, you have to say that you're my husband. And to have, like, the AHCA community be like, we believe in you. To have you, Grace, that night last week when we spoke on the phone for like an hour and a half, like, it's what is getting me through. That's how I'm still trying. Right. How I haven't thrown in the towel. Like, those comments, they're really, it's really nice. It's really awesome because, people can get online and get on the internet and be so mean to people, to see people getting online and getting on the internet and being so nice, but not to anyone, but being nice to me and supportive of me. Like, it's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, well, I'm just really glad that you have been with us this last, couple of years, and that we've been able to build these relationships and be there for you now. And I see more comments coming in about, don't leave the industry. When we're saying take a break and other people are saying take a break, we really mean like from being out in the field, and then focus on actually growing systems, making plans for the future, for your cleaning business, and work on your cleaning business. Make videos like more for TikTok and everything, and just dive even in a way, like dive into the industry in a different way right now that'll help you grow to be prepared for getting back in the field and then training people and whatnot.
Yeah, every time that you hear this in your mind, say, I'm just going to hold on right now and hope, replace that thought and that words with, I'm going to strap in right now and I'm going to drive 110%. And right now, now's the time for you to work even more and harder on your business right now than you ever have before in your life, and use this storm to accelerate your business growth. And that's what we're talking about. If you can't serve your clients right now, there's so much that you can do to level up your character, level up your mindset, dig into those audiobooks, listen to one a day for an hour, maybe 2 hours. Start figuring out what you're going to do to set your business apart. And when you can get back into your vehicle and things start changing for the better out there, you could take your business to the next level if you prepare and change your mindset from thinking, I'm going to hope that this is going to work out, or Mommy Maids might not be around, or I'm going to hold on. Don't hold on. Strap on the seatbelt, and it's time to go 100 miles an hour right now. And somebody said earlier in the comments, they said, we can already see your comeback story all over the newspaper and everything. And that's exactly what you're going to do through this time. This is going to be your greatest comeback story ever. And just keep that on your mind. And anytime the negative thoughts come in, redirect that momentum in a positive way. And you'll be well on your way. And Grace and I and all of the leaders and community members here to support you every step of the way through it.
We're rooting for you. You got
it. It really
this.
means so much. It really means so much. Honestly, like, it really does. And you have to know, like, one of the things about me is, like, how you can describe me as a person, right? Like, I'm at this point where I feel like I know I'll survive, but I don't feel like I'll survive. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
But when I first met my current husband, he saved me in his phone under Princess, right? Like, he's Latin, and like, so they're women in his family, like all the women are princesses. And my response to him was, I'm not a damn princess. Like, a princess needs a whole crew of people to take care of her. Like, I can take care of myself. I'm a queen. like I go into battle and I get my boots dirty. I don't need someone to battle for me. And so I'm trying. And my struggle isn't, I think, we always talk about mindset. Like, you guys are like the mindset king and queen of the world. And like personal struggles, that's it for me. Like, I can literally argue with a podcast right now about why the doomsday is here and like this is the end of it for me. I don't want to believe it. I don't believe it, but I also feel very different than what I know. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does make sense, Crisy. It totally makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense to men as much as it does to women, but we've got all kinds of feelings and we're like, we know this is completely wrong, but I have to feel this way for a little bit, or like, I know these feelings aren't going to go away right now, but I know where I'm going to be. And I know that the feelings aren't true, but they just won't go away right now. And it's like, we can't always control how we feel, right? We can just recognize that it's, the truth. So yeah, I completely, you're not crazy.
Like, because what I can see, like when I sit down and I try, like at night when all the kids are in bed, because thank God we have electricity. And first world problems, listen, my husband was raised in a third world country, so I am completely aware that this is a first world problem. I need them to fix the internet. Because I need peace in my house for my children.
Yeah.
I swore I wouldn't be that mom, but a secret between us and all of the other people in the AHCA. I swear to God I would never buy tablets for my kids, but they all have one. Because sometimes Coco Melon gives me 5 minutes of peace, so it's worth listening to Baby Shark for the 100 millionth time.
Yep.
So, after they all go to bed and my husband's in bed and my grandmother's in bed and it's just me, right? Like, and I'm sure most of the moms can relate to that moment, like where you're awake even though you should be sleeping because it's quiet and peaceful for a moment. I can't convince myself to be positive because what I can think of is we were stupid. We let the insurance lapse on the van. We owe a lot of money on it. We can't afford 2 car payments. Like, I can't afford to go out and buy another car. One, I just bought that van. So, like, the money that we had saved up to buy a car was just spent on that van. And that van, I think like if it had been my husband's car, it would be different for a lot of reasons. Financially, because this car is almost paid off. And the payment is like a lot lower. Like 1/5 of what the payment is on the minivan. But the minivan to me, that was the first car ever in my life that I was like, I need a new car. I'm going to go buy a new car. And I mean, like, I had a budget, but I didn't have a budget. Like, I had a monthly payment I wanted to stay at, but I knew I could push it if I found the car. You know what I mean? Like, it was the first time that I went out and I was like, I wasn't like, I have $5,000 and then I can only afford a $5,000 car.
Mhm.
It was the first time, like, I went out to a bunch of dealerships and test drove. It was so to me, I think part of it is that it was the minivan, and like my minivan to me was sort of like a picture of my success. Like, that was the physical proof that I was successful, you know? And I'm like, I had it for 5 months and it was taken away. And, you know, I'm like, I've had moments where I've mad at God. Like, I completely had like an argument with God, you know, like he didn't answer my argument, but I was yelling at him. I'm telling you, like, I was sitting here, I'm like, you know what? You're a jerk, God. You made a promise to Noah not to flood the world, but you couldn't not flood individual places, right? Like, what happened? Like, we're part of the world. Like,
That's a good argument, actually.
It sounds silly, but I legitimately was like yelling at God. I'm like, you said you wouldn't do this. And while you didn't flood the whole world, you flooded my world. Like, everything I can see was flooded. Like, that's wrong, God. Like, it's been a roller coaster. Like, I just don't. I'm a control freak. I like to be in control. I like to know what's happening. I like to know everything is taken care of. I want to know your plan. I want to know your backup plan. I want to know your plan A through Z. Like, okay, so when plan A fails, because plan A always fails, what's plan B? Like, I'm that person.
Yeah.
And so this is like limbo.
Mm-hmm. You know, Crisy, I just want to, first I want to affirm you in the fact that you should be really proud of yourself and getting that beautiful van that you worked so hard for. But these are like learning opportunities for all of us, even me right now. Like, I'm really like, I feel myself like growing just listening to you right now in my mind, understanding, like, seeing you in this place of struggle and then applying it to, applying it to like the things that like we're learning. And I know like what I particularly am working on. Did she go away? Oh,
I think she's back here.
okay, great. So, yeah. So like the minivan, as opposed to you, I mean, not that they're opposed to one another, but when you're looking at your successes and your life, we can either center our lives on possessions that we gain. What is it? There was all kinds of centers that 7 Habits. You said you read that book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? And we can center our life on certain things just in small ways and then get off focus. But I guess what I'm trying to say is you are the success. You know, even if you lose your van and it gets taken away, that happened to me. It happened to Kevin. I'm pretty sure it's happened to, like, I don't know, probably 75, 90, maybe even 90% of the country gets a car repoed at some point. You haven't failed. Even if that happens, you haven't failed. You are a success because of the growth that you've accomplished throughout your life and the person that you are and the person that you're becoming, you're still becoming. And like, you were just recognized by the chamber. You're changing people and how they see cleaning. You're like blowing their minds in Home Depot. Okay. Like you are the prize. You are the treasure. And that van is replaceable because you are the one who makes money. You're the one who creates. You're the one who builds. The van is a tool, and you can get that tool back because of your strength and because of your like goodness within you and your ability to do what you've done before and do it even better this next time around. So I hope I didn't say that wrong. I hope we weren't. I wasn't saying that. Yeah, I wasn't saying the van was like your only want or something. It's just we can get off track, like and lose our confidence within, and put our confidence into the things that we've earned. And we all do that. That's something that we all do. But it's really clear that you have what it takes. You've already been building your success in Florida. And it doesn't have so much to do with the money right now. It has to do with the name you've made for yourself. And like someone said, you are going to hear your comeback story in the newspaper. I guarantee it. You are going to come back and you're going to come back stronger than ever. And you are going to make history, maybe even all over Florida, in the country. I mean, you're making history really every day right now because of how you're communicating the cleaning industry and changing lives in that way. You're part of this. And anyway, we're really proud of you and we love you. You're welcome. Oh. We can't hear you.
We're waiting to see if Crisy Bosser is going to be able to get her audio working here. We can see her on the camera, but we can't hear her right now. The American House Cleaners Association has set up a GoFundMe for Christal Bosser to support her and her husband and her children and help her get back into a work vehicle, a working washing machine, and anything else that she is going to need to be able to get back into business. If you have the means to financially support Crisy and her family and her business, in the description to this video or this podcast, if you're listening on the podcast, there's a GoFundMe link there. And if we all chip in even a few bucks, it's going to make a significant impact to Crisy and her family. And if you're unable to do that, please leave a comment with encouraging words for Crisy. Let her know that you are praying for her and her family. Crisy, are you back?
And also, I just want to,
There we go.
There we go. I think we can hear you now, Crisy.
Is that better?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. I don't know what happened on my end, but you guys sound like squirrels on my end.
Oh, really? That's funny.
What you said makes a lot of sense, Grace. And I'm glad that you understand what I'm saying, because I feel like a crazy person trying to explain it to my husband. And I think maybe it is a husband problem, not getting it about like knowing the thing. Like I know, you know, like things will happen and people will rebuild and things will get better. But like definitely right now, I feel like the world is over. So that's our that's our story here. But you know, like my washer broke because of the power surge, so it blew the computer parts of it. Like we didn't have electricity for a little while, but we got it back. You know, like the waters, they're better. They're getting lower. The minivan is a physical possession, and I think it only matters so much to me. One, because without it, it's so impossible for me to work and like actually, you know what I mean? Like there's the realistic side and the realistic consequences, and then there's also the like I associated my success so much with that minivan.
Right.
You know, and then there's little things, and it seems silly, but like, you know, yesterday was the second Tuesday of the month, and that's when we have the Chamber of Commerce after hours events, and I look forward to them, and they're fun, and that's like my chance to grow every month, you know, and they're canceled for the foreseeable future. You know, and then there's been little things that have been kind of like a smack in the face. Like I got November 5th, we're supposed to do a community expo, like a newcomers welcome to the community day. The Chamber of Commerce puts it on. And I have a table at it. And as of right now, it's not going to take place. And like I came to fruition that a lot of those events were not going to happen. And then 2 days ago, the pens that I ordered before the hurricane as like the freebie giveaway thing to have on my table came in the mail. And
You'll
it was
still
like,
use them.
it was like you know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, well, now that's not going to happen. Like that was a chance to grow and get more business and clients. And it just seems like, I don't know. I'm the positive, motivating person normally for everybody I know. And I don't seem to be able to be that person for me today. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like.
And you know, Crisy, this is a hard time, and so when we're going through things like it's easier for all of us on the outside looking in to see your situation and say she's going to make it. She's going to come back stronger. Like we know you are. Like we all know you are. So borrow our confidence because you're allowed to feel this way. I just have to say, I know you're not going to stay here, but don't beat yourself up for feeling kind of devastated right now because it's kind of a devastating situation in a lot of ways. Nobody can deny that. That is the truth. It feels really scary to be in a position like this when you don't have the financial security and things, and so many things are just kind of like you said, in limbo. And so I think it's just important for you to not beat yourself up, forgive yourself for not being the motivation guru of your own life right now, because most of us, when we're in the situation, it's hard for us to see through the lenses of reality because we're like stuck in the mud kind of for a little bit. And that's where you are, but you are going to build stronger muscles because of this. You are going to come back stronger. And like everyone's saying, like put your focus on building that plan for your business when you're ready to launch after things are like start coming together more in your area. And it sounds like there are cleanings that are needed right now, but because of your car situation, anyway, it's going to come together. You will not lay down and die. And you are going to come out stronger. So anyway.
I appreciate your confidence in me. Honestly, I appreciate your confidence in me, and I appreciate everybody's confidence in me in the AHCA. It means so much. Like it really means so much. It really does, right? Like I don't have the confidence, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, if they believe in me, Christal, then you're stupid to not believe in yourself. Like, so I'm trying to convince myself that y'all are right and I'm wrong. And that's my goal today and yesterday and probably tomorrow. Like, that I'm wrong and you're right, because I need you to be right. Like,
Grace is always right, Crisy.
He said so.
Like, it really means a lot. It really means a lot.
Yeah.
Like, more than you guys know.
Yeah.
I think that was like the best husband of the year comment, by the way, Kevin. It really means a lot. It really means a lot. I don't want it to be the end. I don't want to not keep going. We are trying. We're not giving up. We're definitely trying. I'm definitely pushing forward. And I'll be honest, I feel like part of this, my husband paid y'all to lie to me and tell me not to give up because all of you seem to have this like image of me as being the person who won't fail. And I mean, I'm stubborn, so that's probably true. Like, I know that I'm stubborn, but I've never in my life felt so much like I should throw in the white towel and be done. And I don't know why. I don't know why I have that feeling. But, you know, your guys' confidence in me is inspiring so much. Your guys' encouragement and support is so helpful and motivating. Like, the fact that y'all believe in me when I don't believe in me, like, and then it probably doesn't sound the most like poetic because my brain's not working right, so I'm having trouble saying the right things. I have to think before I speak, which normally I don't. But you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, you're very lucky because your friends, your family, or whatever, right? But those are people who have to say things, right? Like, my mom has to say, "You're gonna do it," because that's what a mom does. My husband has to tell me I'm pretty, I'm smart, and I'm gonna do this because he's my husband, right? Like, there's a certain level of like obligation. Like, I'll be like, yeah, and you know, and I'll tell my husband, like, you have to tell me that, and he's, you know, and even if he genuinely means it, I'm like, no, you don't. You're my husband. That's what you have to say. That's your job. But like Stefana, Lucia, Fabiola, Shoshana, like, you two, like, y'all don't have to say any of that. Like, realistically, who am I to you on a personal level? Like, I'm nobody, right? Like, I'm a member of the AHCA, we all are, but like, there's no obligation for you to be supportive or motivating or encouraging. Like, there's nothing. So for it to come, like, it's genuine, you know, like if you walk out and you ask your husband, does this make me look fat? And he says, no, you look gorgeous. You don't believe him. So but if you're walking down the street and a stranger says you look gorgeous, you're like, oh, thank you. And you believe them, you know, and it's kind of like that situation for me. Like, you know, like, for you guys to believe in me means so much. It means more than my husband believing in me. He would get mad if he heard me say that. It means more than my friends believing in me. Because I'm like, you're my friend, you have to tell me. You have to tell me that you're my friend.
Nope, it's breaking up.
So it means a lot.
Well, we're really glad that we can be there for you through this, Crisy, and it's really beautiful to see all the people who have been supportive to you and are in the comments right now, and we hope that more will come in. during this time. And we're just, this is exactly what Kevin and I have envisioned. And, I'm impatient. Like, I want to build things quicker and get togethers together sooner. And it's like, we can only do what we can do. We got, our lives and everything, our 9 kids. And so we appreciate all of y'all's patience with us, but this is exactly what we have wanted to be. It's like a family for each other in this industry, helping each other grow, both in our business and personal lives, because it's 80% psychological. So it's important that we have our personal lives also supported. And that's where we're going to be the strongest. And that's that. So
absolutely. And Grace and I just wanted to say thank you to all of the HCA leaders who have been with us here today on this live and encouraging Crisy through this struggle. Yeah. And thank you to everybody who has already donated to Crisy's GoFundMe. Yes. If you look in the description to this live video, or if you're on the podcast, if you're listening to us on the podcast right now, in the podcast description, you'll find the GoFundMe link there. And if we all just chipped in just a few bucks, we could help Crisy get back into a vehicle, get back into her business. And, we're always there for each other in the group. And Crisy has been there and helped you so many people over the last couple of years when we needed it. And so let's all come together now and lift her up in our prayers with our encouragement and with a donation to her GoFundMe to help her with that company vehicle. And that's it for tonight.
All right.
And we're all thinking about you, Crisy, and we're all here rooting for you. We're going to be here every step of the way and watch you overcome this battle and become stronger than ever before.
We can't wait to watch your comeback story unfold. It was really great seeing you tonight, Crisy. And everyone that was here, thank you so much for your support and love to Crisy. All right.
See y'all later.
See y'all later. Have a great night.